Leading local today, Governor Doug Burgum says he's just about done signing the remainder of the bills passed by state lawmakers this session. We sat down with the governor this morning to ask about signing some of the major bills and how he decided which ones to veto.
We had a number of high-level goals, and this legislature accomplished lifted a lot of big rocks that have been sitting here for decades.
Governor Doug Burgum is touting several bills passed by state lawmakers this session, including a new corporate farming bill, a college tuition freeze, and a tax cut for neighbors.
52 different bills, 51 of them were signed, cutting red tape.
One of the more contentious bills happened when lawmakers voted to close the defined benefit public employee retirement plan and to start paying down the debt. Current PERS Director Scott Miller testified in opposition to that plan in January.
I can't pay retirement benefits with a mall or an office building. We have real estate investments. I'm going to have to liquidate those in order to pay these benefits over time. So that rate of return that we can expect going forward is going to be coming down.
Does he have faith and confidence to be able to oversee the changes? Is this something, or do you think he will have to be replaced if he's not behind sort of the policy passed?
One of the elements that's in the OMB bill is a change in membership of the PERS board, and that's that emergency clause. So if we have a new expanded PERS board with a couple more legislators on it, I think that there is going to be a decision for that board to make, which is all governing boards have to make, which is, do we have the leadership in place that's going to go and execute well on the direction that's been decided.
As part of the Office and Management budget bill that was passed in the final days of the session, lawmakers voted to add 4 legislators to the state PERS board. The bill did not draw quite as much attention as Senate Bill 2150, which outlaws most abortions. Passing that through this chamber while also looking to our neighbors to the east, where lawmakers in Minnesota taking up a lot of heavy topics, almost doing the exact opposite of what's happening in North Dakota in terms of the two states really digging in their heels on these topics, I guess. Do you expect this will have an impact on the two states and their working relationship on certain items in the future?
Well, I think there's plenty of things that we need to work with on Minnesota, and whether it's roads, bridges, flood diversion control. There's a lot of things that we can and will work with, but I think what you're seeing is this patchwork across the nation with Roe v. Wade being overturned and the power to decide at the state level. We're going to have neighboring states that have very different legislators and legislatures and very different directions on some of these issues.
Talking specifically about in the past 2 of the bills where they talked about transgender as it pertains to schools and colleges and athletic teams. 2 years ago, using one of your vetoes to kick out one of those bills. This time around, both 1249 and 1489 had your blessing. What was it this time around that changed your mind on that topic?
And there had never been a problem, and there still hadn't been a problem in the last 2 years. And so I think we were correct 2 years ago that we had good controls in place to protect women's sports. I still feel we had that today. Legislature wants to go even further and take what the association was doing, codify it in state law. So again, and I think it makes sense. We've got to have compassion for all citizens in North Dakota, but we also need to make sure we've got fairness in women's sports.
One of Governor Burgum's 7 vetoes was to send back House Bill 1475, seeking to raise the speed limit on the interstate by 5 miles an hour. At the time, your reasoning was, I will not allow this unless you absolutely give me stronger seatbelt laws in the state, which ultimately did happen. Having said that, do you regret it, knowing that the seatbelt law was likely to come into play or anything, or is it just not the right time to be raising the speed limit out there?
And so I didn't have some philosophical thing of hey, not never ever, but it was like clear to me that we shouldn't be raising speed limits because speed is a factor in deaths, that we shouldn't be raising the speed limits until we first had a primary seatbelt law. So that was part of the reason I vetoed the 80 mile, and when we did get the seatbelt law, and then I never got the 80 mile back.
This afternoon, I also asked House Majority Leader Mike LaFour about the bill relating to Office of Management and Budget, which he chalked up to a clerical error, which he said could be worked out by legislative management. LaFour says that he doubts lawmakers will have to return to Bismarck even if Governor Burgum were to veto any remaining bills.